So welcome back to the WideFox build. Before we get going this week, I have a favor to request of you guys watching at home. There's a lot of content theft going on right now. I've seen it on multiple other people that have finished their builds and they're starting to get their cars out. I saw last night there was a YouTube channel that was basically downloading video from Instagram, posting it, and while that seems like they're just enthusiasts, giving everybody the thumbs up, they're actually monetizing their videos, which means they are making money off the views of somebody else's content. Thankfully, I haven't had a lot of my content stolen yet, but with the WideFox getting close to completion and getting some drive and idle clips and the other stuff, I've been keeping a really good eye out for people or companies using my content for their own benefit. So the favor is this: if you see either my content or somebody else out there, send them a message, tag them, notify them however, just to make sure that they understand that their content or their hard work is being shown by somebody else. You guys know that I partner with certain companies. It's pretty obvious which ones they are based on banners in the background of my shop, on my doors, or by the gear I wear. There are other companies that I've found that never wanted to work with me, but yet now that my car is getting close to done, are enjoying the fruits of my labor and using my content to run specials in that. I'm not going to name names. They're out there. You can find them. But just know I have approved vendors, suppliers, content partners, and anybody else that's not part of that, I'd like to know so I can take care of it personally. Now with that bit of the nastiness out of the way, let's get to the fun part of the build. So I'm back working on the bodywork, obviously. So I've got the passenger side fender off. Now if you remember, I cut a slit through here and that, and so you can see that I have now used almost the last of the kitty hair to just reinforce the backside. Now again, this is the cowl effort here, or this is the cowl area. And this now is a not a long strand fiberglass, but it's a short strand. So the short strand, what I've done now is moved on to glass light. This is something I just picked up locally, but you can see now, remember where this part of the fender was kind of tucked down in against the cowl? I've just put a bunch of it on here, and now I need to sand basically this smooth and see if I have a smooth surface, or else I'll do it again. Again, going on here, and this stuff really is like, it's almost like cake frosting when you put it on. It's not soupy, but it's more like a paste. So that's going on there all the way down, and I just kind of ran it out, trying to fill in pinholes all the way down, so I still need to work on getting some of that back together. Alright, so with round one of sanding done, you can kind of see between the cowl and the fender, that's not too bad. I think I can get it a little more fine-tuned than that with just some of that glass type. Just the short strand filler does a little bit better. So you can definitely see some pinholes in here still. And I didn't use the glass filler on it, but I'll do that on this. That's back to where it should be, other than I just need to fix the placement, obviously, to get that gap back. Driver's side, definitely making a mess. But it's getting there. Obviously need some glass fill on this for those pinholes. Let's see what else. This, I'm just using the buttonless Wonder to sand it down. I need to get this done a little bit more and kind of flow this out a little bit better. There's too much of a jump right here. And then flicking down through there, I need to finish up that parting line and get that fixed right there, that tight gap. So that needs to be done. So definitely it's coming together. I'll say that, it's coming together. I feel pretty good about these fenders finally. You know how long it took. I don't know how long. I stopped keeping count. I'm probably in the 60-hour range right now, and I probably have another 10 hours to get this to where I want to be. So hopefully y'all can understand me, but I got, whoa, look out. I got some, this is the glass type. So you can see it's kind of like It's not gooey. You know, it's not gooey like the other stuff, but this is more like, I want to say frosting, I really do. It reminds me a lot of cake frosting. It's also green, has a blue hardener, so it's probably the same stuff, honestly. But it's got short strand fiberglass in there, so again, very strong, a little stronger than normal filler, but it goes on easy. So I'm going to switch to the smaller one. Is good for getting it out of the can, but this one, the normal putty one, a little bit easier for spreading. Now this stuff, you're just basically going to put it on thin. At least I am. Because at this point, I'm just doing spot filling, honestly. Don't have to go thick with it because you're just going to sand basically back off anyway. So you can just put it on. You don't have to like squeeze it terribly down in there. But just make sure you fill the holes. So you can see again on the cowl, I'm just going to fill in the hole, scrape it across, and again, I want to leave a little extra so I can sand down to that point where it's going to stop. But what it will do is basically give me a clean parting line that I can sand and fine tune in. And there again, I'm just going to leave it a little high so that I can sand down to it. And this stuff actually dries a little faster than the long strand kitty hair. So you can, this stuff you have to work a little faster, but you don't have to like be crazy fast on it. All right, so there's the filler put on. This is the glass tight filler. So you can just see it's just on there, and that'll be sanded off, so it'll be smoothed out. And really the biggest thing I was worried about up here was just this parting line. Everything else in here was just a matter of filling in any pinholes in that. Same thing going down, just a lot of pinholes. So there's the driver's side again. Filling mostly pinholes at this point. Just trying to get a smooth surface down. And then I still need to fix that bottom again, but I'll get it. It's easy just sanding. So at this point, I'm just going to let this stuff dry. It actually dries pretty fast. I'll go get some lunch and let that set up, and then I will come back, and when it's still, I guess not even tacky, it'll be dry but still kind of soft where you can put your fingernail in it, and then I'll start sanding again. Now just remember, I know I'm probably going a little heavy on this stuff, trying to get all the stuff to fit. Why will this not stay up? And I'm okay with that. You guys might think that if it's cracks later on or anything else, or anything happens with the fenders, I'll take responsibility for that. Like I said, I'm not true on body work. I try to learn from the best and pass along anything I do. So just be cautious if you're going to try and do this. I'm not the specialist on this stuff. I'm still learning, so I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm back in from lunch, and I've now taken the fenders off the car. So the area up here that I put on the glass type filler, it was dry enough that I felt like I wasn't going to chip it and it wasn't going to stick to anything else. Still drying, and I'll leave it alone for now. One thing to note though is when I took them off, remember I basically glassed over right here at the cowl on both. I took the bottom loose and kind of took them up and out. So what I did is it made this the last piece, and I flexed it so that it snapped right here at this edge. And by snapping that edge, you can look there, you can see how crisp that is now. And really, all I need to do now is just blend the surface, give it some rounded texture. But it is, wow, look at that. Look how sharp that is. And that's exactly how it matches the fender. So now with the fenders off the car, the back end where it meets the cowl is obviously drying. I've now used the last of the kitty hair, that cord I had that was about this big. That is completely used up now as the foundation, and the rest will be glass tight. So I redid, again, another set here. And I measured it prior when I had the bumper on it last time. I measured that and marked it on my tape. So I knew there were some areas that I had already built up enough that didn't need any more kitty hair. They already fit well. I basically needed to add more kitty hair in the areas that still had gap. So I've done that. Now there's a couple sections here along the way that don't have any kitty hair because I wanted to build up the other sections up to it, and now it's pretty consistent. So this is now, these just needs to basically sit overnight. I really want this stuff to cure out before I start sanding it, and then the back of the cowl area also will dry overnight. Whew, sorry. This stuff is so smelly. I feel like I'm getting high, like I'm eating Tide Pods in here. So I'm going to kick open the door and move to the inside of the car, get back to wiring before I come back to this stuff and let this stuff cure out. All right, so with everything dry, cured, I've now put the fenders back on and I sanded them. So I used the Wonder Wheel to grind off using 100 grit. I went from 60, I'm using 100 grit now, and then I used 150 by hand to get this smooth. Now if I show you the cowl, that's all right. So fits very well. I'm done. I'm leaving that alone. It's not perfect, but by golly, it's pretty darn close. And remember, all the stuff is getting vinyl wrapped, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be good enough. It's going to be covered, and I know that. And this is not, while it's going to be show and all that other stuff, I need to be honest with myself. I'm going to drive the heck out of this car. And if I chip this stuff up and spent 10 more hours on refinishing it and get a nick in it, you're going to see a grown man cry. And I don't want to do that. So again, that's finished out. I think that's very good. Need to work on the spacing, but that's just when I set it, it'll fit. Now if I go show you the front, I'm honestly, if I bend down here, I'm honestly feeling like I'm starting to go backwards on doing this. I just cannot get this top to seal. I know the bottom is holding it out a little bit, so I'm going to sand that. But honestly, I'm starting to feel like I'm going backwards on the fit of this, and just because I'm doing much. So I'm going to try and take some of this off. And let me show you the passenger side, or the driver's side. So there's the fit cowl side on the driver. I do like this fit right down through here. I need to do a little bit better. So if you see how much blending I've done in here, there's a section right in here that I can feel with my fingers that needs a little bit more. So I will work on that, but that is a pretty darn good fit otherwise. And again, going down through there with the door, it's pretty good. I did some grinding on that, and that's better. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It's better. I'll probably use it a little bit more. And there again, right here on the edge, you can see a little bit of gap from this going to this. So I need to measure out and give a little more sanding on this. And then the fit on the fascia to the bumper, a lot better obviously on this side. I just need to do some sanding. I'll show you. You can kind of see down between there. I just need to do some glass tight to get that to fit better, but just finishing the sanding on that, I think is going to make it fit and get that to fit together. I'm starting to get to where everything's kind of fitting. Now I just really need to work on refinements. So anything that needs some glass tight, I'm going to try and do it all in one shot so I don't have to mix multiple small things, and I can just glass it all in, just do the spot fill. So driver's cowl, I will do some more on the front here. Obviously I need to get the Wonder Wheel out and do some sanding on that, so I will do that. Refit the bumper, and it may not seem like it, but by golly, we're getting close. We are really getting close on this before I need to get the bumper fixed. Okay, so we are at the end. Ta-da! So I've got the fenders done. They're finished. This is it for the wide body. It's over. Finito. The fat lady is singing. So how we got from the last piece where I showed you that the gap was kind of split up and it had all the kitty hair on there. What I ended up doing is taking this down here at the bottom and I sanded it. Put the fascia on, it got better. I sanded more. I put the fascia on, it got better. I sanded more, and I sanded more, and I sanded more, and I sanded until I didn't need to anymore. So the last piece of it really was that I wrapped this section basically about an inch perimeter around the bumper itself in the blue painter's tape. The whole point of it was to give it a surface that I could peel away because I was going to slather it in body filler. So this piece here, what I ended up doing was just basically sandwiching them together, and there were very, very small gaps. So I ended up filling it heavily with the glass tight. That's really kind of like, remember it was like cake frosting? Well, anyway, it filled in the gap. And I also put tape on the backside to basically catch it. So anything I slathered in, it wouldn't come gooing out the back if I somehow got it all the way through. Slather that on, sanded, got really close, did another level, sanded again, and that's it. So this is now done to 220 grit here, and I gotta tell you, this is a dream come true right here. The problem is, I've got to take it apart again, and now I don't know if it'll ever fit this good again. Oh well. But that's it. That's the end of the wide body kit. It is done. So, I also did put a hood on it, but I still need to get that aligned, and I think that's it. Kids, we made it. We got to the finish line. So, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna show you what it looks like, kind of like the macro view of it. But by golly, this car, ooh, it's what I had up in here, and it's now out here. Pretty awesome. So that's it. Basin Motorsports, out.